At 4:30 a.m. on September 28, 2025, 4 HIMARS missiles climbed out of Ukraine and screamed through a low morning fog toward Belgorod. 43 miles from their target, the Novy Oskol substation, they were invisible to the Russian crews watching the S-400 consoles. In less than 2 minutes, the electrical heart of a front line would go dark. The strike was not only about speed, it was choreography. Beneath the hypersonic arc, a low swarm of Ukrainian drones sketched a different story across Russian radar: the Fog Phantom. A high-end Shark drone, carrying a 30 x thermal camera, led a pack of cheap kamikaze FPVs that spat programmed chaff. On Russian screens, the sky filled with what looked like a massive flock of birds. A ghost army the Kasuka-4 EW system could not untangle from reality. When the first HIMARS missile lost GPS, the missile switched to internal inertial navigation, flying on memory, and the Shark provided the only eye through the fog. It painted the substation with an invisible laser. That dot could not be jammed. The missile, now blind to everything else, had one job: fly to that dot. Electronic warfare answered back. Kasuka-4 awoke, filling the spectrum with white noise. FPVs tumbled. One missile vaporized in a white fireball as an S-400 or Panzer battery found a fleeting track. But the attackers had planned those losses. Kasuka chewed power and time. Run at full power, it overheats and must cycle. The Ukrainians timed their push for that tiny, blind window. Tactically, the swarm split the Russians' attention. Some drones dove and flared to draw interceptor fire. Others hugged terrain to stay in radar shadows. The Shark slipped along a ridge, kept its laser steady, and shepherded the next missile through a gap, a needle through a net. Where the supercomputer choked on 1,000 false returns, a low hill created a perfect blind. Then came the rooftop. Guards opened fire with rifles. A futile hail against a 200-pound missile or a 60-mile-per-hour kamikaze. One sacrificial FP5 dove into the roofline, its small blast silencing the last sentry. With the last line gone, the remaining missiles had a clear corridor. The HIMARS warheads punched deep into the transformer shells. 2 nearly simultaneous impacts produced a Monroe-style chain reaction. Molten jets, vaporized switchgear, transformers exploding like suns. The substation collapsed into a furnace of arcing sparks. The power grid for an entire region cut in an instant. The strategic effect was immediate and brutal. S-400 radars lost their primary feed. Fuel pumps and depot switching systems ground to a halt. Command networks went intermittent. In the end, the Fog Phantom was more than a trick. It was a lesson. Modern conflict is no longer only about platforms and payloads. It is about who can choreograph sensors, exploit electronic seams, and turn a layered defense into a theater of confusion.